What's up, you guys? It's 2bricks, and I have a new sort of a two-part mock here to show you today. Functionally, this is a remake of the 1999 Snowspeeder set, which was one of the first wave ever of LEGO Star Wars sets. In fact, I think it was in the first wave way back 23 years ago now, which is so insane to think about. This set was actually very special to me because it was one of the things that kind of really opened my eyes to what LEGO can be, and the fact that you know, it isn't just about the pre-made sets, the pirate ships and the castles and the things of that sort. You can actually make stuff that looks like things from other stuff. You can make, for example, a Snowspeeder that looks like it's right out of the Battle of Hoth. Of course, I look back on that now, and the set looks so quaint and childish and primitive to me, you know, by today's standards. But it was still a very early kind of eye-opening moment for me as far as the hobby goes, and it was one of the things that really made me want to dive into LEGO further. And of course, here we are today. So I actually went to great pains to try to recreate that original box art slash catalog promo image there, using the new assets that I've made here. As a kind of homage to that initial point of inspiration. So that was definitely a ton of fun. It was something that really meant a lot to me. I spent a lot of hours as an 11, 12-year-old staring at that LEGO catalog and just wishing I could get all those sets. And this image in particular was a big one for me. So yeah, today I'm going to be showing you guys the mock that I have here. Predominantly we're going to be looking at the Snowspeeder itself. And then separately from that, there is the stand, which the Snowspeeder is currently sitting on, this harpoon and tow cable, and this gun tower off to the side here, which are kind of intended to be an add-on if you want to kind of recreate your Battle of Hoth scenario using the Snowspeeder. But the Snowspeeder are actually made as part of a larger ongoing mock project, which is going to be relating to Obi-Wan Kenobi, because as you know, the T-47s recently showed up in that show again, and there was a ship, Roken's Path dropship, that could actually scoop up Snowspeeders and other craft as well. And so this is the first part of me kind of recreating that as a mock. So I did want to go ahead and add the other elements that came with the 1999 set here, including the tower, because I just felt like that would be a really fun kind of a free add-on to put with this. And also I knew I wanted to make a stand. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm separating these out. And today we're going to take a look at the Snowspeeder itself, and I'm going to show you guys all of the crazy cool details and features that I was able to put into it. This is, I mean, I say it and I feel it every single time I complete a new build, but I think this is the most complicated mock I ever have done, which is insane because it's so tiny. But that's kind of, you know, the challenge of it is every stud has to count. So I'm really excited to show you guys all of the details and stuff up close. So let's get in and take a look at the Snowspeeder. All right, so having taken the T-47 off of its stand, let me just kind of give you a look around the whole thing and give you kind of an overview of the look of it. The reason that this is such a challenging thing to recreate in LEGO is because not only is it absolutely tiny, but every single angle on this is needlessly complicated and difficult, right down to the fact that the two cannons in the front here actually slope in towards the middle to, I guess, make for more accurate firing for the you know, centering up the blaster bolts and stuff, you know, in universe. And so that's something that I wanted to replicate here, and that's something that I've done. So you can see here there is a curvature to the inside for that, and you know, there are so many little elements like that in this design that just make it insanely difficult to capture. You want these top sections right here to be flat, you know, or you know, sit horizontal, whereas the rest of the wings and everything angle down. You have this really complicated meeting of shapes here up at the front with the kind of trapezoidal shape that goes into these two triangles, and then just kind of flawlessly, seamlessly meets up with the wing edge here. So it was just, man, it was such a challenge to figure this out. And I went back and forth on many iterations. I then had some help from my folks on Discord giving me some feedback once my eyeballs had gotten numb to the process, and they gave me some pointers on things that they'd like to see different. And this is kind of the final version here, so I'm super thrilled with it. It has a lot of little, you know, subtle features, and I'll just kind of demonstrate those for you now. So feature number one here is that it has an opening cockpit, and it kind of opens in two stages. So you can pull back the main canopy here, and then you can actually angle it further so that you can open it all the way up like so. And then it fits two pilots in here. So here I have a Luke Skywalker and a Dak. Back when Dak had just a generic face, I feel very bad for him there. So Dak has his little kind of firing harpoon controls here. And then Luke has a more generous array of buttons and things with the more standard console piece there. So that allows him to look like he's really piloting the thing. And I think that, as far as minifig scale goes, this is pretty much spot on. I'm kind of just going off of the scale of the minifigs and how they look inside the thing. I don't think you can really get much closer to minifig scale than this. This has a swiveling harpoon cannon at the back here, and it has a really easy swivel action due to the fact that I'm attaching it using one of these claw pieces here on the bottom, and that just sits on this bar, and it makes for a really nice back and forth with the gun there. You don't have to risk breaking anything when you're swiveling it, so I like that. Then we have in the back here these adjustable fins, which I think are for general kind of steering and elevation. And then we also have the opening brake flaps on the sides. So I'll show you those from the other side, with a lot of little kind of mechanical detail and different coloring and stuff in there to kind of give you the sense that this is, a machine that has a lot going on the inside. So those can close up really nice and flush there. And continuing the orange through here, figuring out the best way to do that was really tricky as well. So yeah, there's just so much tricky stuff in here. This little detailed section here, kind of sticking out to the front, was again another tricky thing to figure out exactly how to place that and where that should go, because we have this kind of whole chunk of the wing here that is angled at 45 degrees to achieve this front section with the triangular detailing there. So all of that was really tricky, and also getting all of this to meet up and be relatively gap-free in the center here with the way that the wings kind of melt into the body. Again, very challenging and tricky stuff. I have a lot of nice, authentic looking mechanical detail through here. I think these pieces represent what we see on this section pretty much perfectly. And then you can see there's just a little bit of kind of raised panel look back here with these extra cheese wedge pieces, which is really just a factor of the math involved in the cheese wedge pieces relative to the size of Lego plates. So but yeah, I think it looks really nice, and all of the kind of additional panels here meeting up very slickly and having very little gap here just really sells the design for me. So oh, the other thing that we have to look at here is removable landing gear. It's not retractable because obviously that would be impossible at this scale. Maybe not impossible, but not for my brain to figure out anyway. So these just come, there are 3 identical skids. They come with the stud with the hole in so that you can plug them into the anti-studs for this portion right here, and then the front one you just plug into the regular anti-stud hole there, and that works out very well, and it elevates the thing just 1 plate thickness off of the ground so the wings are not touching. And then yeah, the way that also this canopy meets up here at the front I find to be very satisfying, and the fact that the interior here with the Lego stud on the inside of that windshield piece, you can see there, just kind of perfectly touches the edge of this cheese wedge piece and gives it a perfect place to rest. So this just all kind of melts together and feels like one continuous cockpit piece. I'm so happy with how that all came out. So yeah, this is definitely a work of, or a labor of art, and something that I definitely, like I said, I put a lot of hours and thought into this, and I hope you guys get a kick out of it. So oh yeah, the other thing that I was going to show you is I have, as part of my extras pack here, I have a harpoon and tow cable setup. So this would be the harpoon, this would be the end here that plugs into the back of the ship, and that's something that you can just stick into this available stud to simulate your taking down the AT-ATs, and then at the right moment that can release the tow cables, and that just kind of pops free. And I didn't include this as part of the main build because the string piece itself is fairly expensive if you want to get the longest variety of string piece. I think it's like over $2 on Bricklink. So that would, single-handedly raise the price of the build quite a bit. And, it's not something that is exactly an action feature. There's no way to fire this or anything like that. But it's just a kind of a fun thing that you can do if you want to. And if you happen to have the Ultimate Collector Series AT-AT and you want to kind of set up a little scene with this circling around it, that's a good way to do that. So, yeah. Oh, one other tiny little detail I wanted to call out is just using these ingot pieces to get the kind of rounded, the thickened section of the underside of the barrel here. Again, just a really, really fun little detail that was hard to figure out exactly how to capture, and once I cracked it, I was very happy. So, yeah, there's a lot of that on this design, a lot of things that took me a very long time to figure out, and then once I did, I was happy. So there you go. There is the T-47 Airspeeder. I'm going to go ahead and put it on the stand and show you the extra side builds. All right, so here is the stand, and the stand actually functions as a storage box for your landing gear, which I've gone ahead and taken off. You have to just partially disassemble them, and you can place them in there. So when you're not using, when you want the ship to be in flight mode, that's where you can place your gear. And then the Technic half pins here just attach into any two anti-studs on the bottom of this base. I like to store it somewhere back here, or not store it, I like to place it somewhere towards the back there. And then you can see that it kind of pitches off to the side at this angle like this. It's very pleasing to look at. And then you can kind of kick up one of the brake flaps there to indicate that it's turning. You can position these nicely how you want them. And there you go, your airspeeder is mounted. So I think, the amount that it's off the ground is okay. I think that it's like, I would obviously love to have it be super high in the air, but I don't think it's really necessary, and I didn't want to add a lot of cost to the Technic elements and the transparent elements here to raise it up any higher. I think this gives you a good kind of 360 look at the model. It lets you see the underside if you want to, if you're kind of standing level with it. And yeah, I think it just captures all of the things that you need. So there's the stand. I think that it works pretty darn well. And one other thing that you can do with the stand is you can mount it as if it's kind of taking off, coming up this way at you, which I think is also a really valid way to display this. I think it looks pretty cool. And yeah, that's like, gives it a whole kind of look, very, very dynamic and very kind of coming at you. So yeah, that is something else you can do with the stand as well. And I just wanted to take a quick second to show you guys how to place your figures into the Snowspeeder, and also just give you a little bit of a better look at the interior. So it's really easy. All you want to do is pull back this canopy and just kind of rotate it up. Then this whole front section here can be pulled forward and kind of rotates all the way forward. It's a little bit fiddly, but you have to just kind of pull that all the way down. And then I found that you can get the figures in without disassembling anything, but really the easiest way is if you just pull off these side panels. It just gives you better access. They're only attached with 2 studs each. You just pull them out of the middle here, so there those are. And then you have really nice, free, easy access to get your minifigures in there. So there's Luke's little display, and there's Dax. And they have some nice kind of plush seating down there as well. So we go ahead and just place our figures down in here. They sit with 2 studs each on the ground, like so. And then you can just kind of lean them back a little bit. And then we can place our side panels back in. Really nice and easy. And the thing is very stable on the ground with the landing gear in place, so no need to worry about that. Fold this whole section back up until it kind of meets up with this section here, and then just tuck the cockpit down on top of them, fine-tune their positions so that their helmets and everything fit in there, and there you go. So you can kind of see down in there, Luke sitting nice and situated, and oh, I think he actually came off his studs there, but there you go. And yeah, they fit in there really nicely and very accurately, I think, with as far as like the spacing between them and everything. Feels very nice. So yeah, that's the best and easiest way I found to place your figures in there. And keeping their hands down just kind of helps with the clearance, because obviously it's a very tight squeeze in there for these guys. So here we have the 1.4 FD P-Tower, which is a very clunky way of saying those radar dish guns, which they kind of briefly provide some kind of a counter-offensive to the AT-ATs, and then they're very quickly dispatched once the shield goes down. All these rebels have to flee or are killed, and these are all blown up. So they had a brief and glorious moment in their fight against the Empire. yeah, these are fun. Lego has done multiple versions of them over the years. I wanted to have one that was a little bit more accurate. So there's these kind of viewing goggles here. It's almost like a telescope. So you can place your Rebel right there and they can look through the scope. There are little handles here to simulate the kind of fine tuning of the cannon. And then obviously it's free to rotate here, and it's connected to a independent battery pack. In the actual thing, there's 2 or 3 wires coming off, and there are multiple battery packs, but I just wanted to go ahead and do the one just to call it out. The front sections here kind of glow or light up when the thing is getting ready to fire. That's sort of like, indicating some sort of solar powered charging or something to that effect. There's a lot of fun visual detail in here with this gear that's meant to represent these spokes that kind of come off of the main cannon. The nice kind of smooth shaping here with the cheese wedge pieces and the slopes, and also the reverse slope here at the front, kind of being used to represent that fun body shape, and this weird telescopic thing coming off of the side of it that you use to control it. So there's definitely been, like I said, a ton of iterations of this design over the years, but never one that quite captures all of the features that I wanted to see. So I went ahead and made this. And of course, because it was included as part of the original set, or a version of it was, I wanted to kind of pay homage to that. So there is your P-Tower. Really not that much to it. It's a fun little design, and something that you can throw into any Hoth diorama, and hopefully folks will know what it is right away, because it's a pretty iconic looking thing. So there you go. All right, guys, so there is your look at the recreation of the 1999 Snowspeeder set. I definitely think I miss the time when Lego would provide us with a ship and a terrain build on the side, and I think it was fun to reminisce about that time, and also just to look back at Lego Star Wars history and think about something that really inspired me as a young builder to just want to get more into the hobby. So yeah, hopefully you guys get a kick out of this, and hopefully you're going to stick around for the next part where I debut the the next phase of this MOC, which I believe is going to be the Obi-Wan Kenobi dropship, the one that Kenobi himself takes at the end to kind of fight his duel with Vader. And once I have both of those ships nicely sized up, I can figure out how big I need to make Roken's ship in order to have them both go inside of it. So yeah, that's going to be a crazy build. It's going to probably be ginormous, and I'm very excited to kind of get into that with you guys in the coming weeks. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this one, and if you're planning on building any Hoth dioramas or anything to that effect, let me know what else you'd like to see. Is there other stuff from the Battle of Hoth that you think is iconic enough? Don't say NAT because I'm not going to do that. The recent UCS version, while being extremely expensive, is very, very accurate and minifig-scale, so I don't see the point in doing that. But other elements, perhaps other things that were in the trenches that maybe don't get as much attention, yeah, are fair game for sure. So yeah, that's all for today, you guys. I'm going to get busy on the next models and the next videos and the instructions that I'm working on for all of you guys. Don't forget, you can get the instructions for this right now on my Rebrickable page, so just go ahead and click the link in the pinned comment or in the description to go over there and see all of the MOCs that I have available. This will be listed in as 2 separate things, so do pay attention to that if you're looking to get if you're looking to get one and you don't realize, or you're looking to get both and you don't realize you just get the one, just do make sure that you're getting everything that you want. And as a little bonus treat, I've also included the instructions for this and the parts list in gray and red as an alternate color scheme, because there's been furious debate among Star Wars fans for the longest time as to what color these Snowspeeders actually are. So you can go ahead and get either version, whichever one looks better to your eye, and that's just something that's a fun little bonus. So yeah, that's going to be it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching and for liking and subscribing, leaving a comment, positive or negative, and I will see you on the next video. Thanks again, guys, and may the Force be with you.